What did we actually spawn? Okay, that's funny, Team Islands. Yeah, well, this is kind of funny on the second power, right? Because of course, in the round of 16, they basically spawned their home map as well against New Hell Hunters Islands. They play a home map as Islands, and they got it in blind random. And here on the quarterfinals, Gaucho B, yet again, playing Team Islands as home map and getting the same map as blind random. Somebody is really, really lucky. Really lucky so far. But what was the problem? There was something with keyboards. Keyboard GG for Pingui. Apparently we're gonna be restoring. But well, it is interesting. That is significantly interesting. So we're probably right now gonna be waiting for the game to tell us that they have actually saved. So let's just basically look around here. Able to save and exit. But this is really kind of funny. They're gonna be at least right now playing on the other side of the water. Pingui on the left. The civilizations are gonna be... Yeah, this is... At least we're gonna be seeing some different civilizations. You can see that for BF it's gonna be Viking, Han and Mongol. For Gaucho, Mongol, Spanish Viking. So yet again, Gauchos are coming for Spanish. The same as in the last time. And it forced them into really kind of funny gameplay. That I already spoke about in basically like the first map or whatever. So recommend it. If you want to watch really fun islands, then definitely watch a round of 16 between Gaucho B and New Hell Hunters. You can find it on the channel in the past broadcast. The Spanish Team Islands. Yeah, can I guess why not? And there we go. We are back into the game, and yep, everybody knows there is Team Islands because we are having the path, and the only other map that is spawning with the path is Black Forest, and that's not this. That is definitely not this. So, what's gonna be the difference here? Of course, the civilizations. I've already talked about that a bit before. Mongols, Spanish, Vikings for Gauchos. The Spanish are definitely quite interested in that, but they are still capable of paladins, so it's not really that much of a problem for him. Got an interesting little pond in there with one shorefish, and right next to it with a relic and of course a wolfie. Quite a lot of deer, a bit more to the north of that. Whereas for the opponents is gonna be Huns, Vikings and Mongols, which is basically the same combination, I think, that they actually used in the first version of the Team Islands. They definitely used that in the last game. Yeah, they played like that, so they like that kind of combination. And, well, of course, in the early game, that's not gonna be anything all that major for us to look at. Just, for example, if there's gonna be some kind of bad spot for a dock, like exactly this one. You can see this is a screen where there's absolutely no fish, just a bit of a shorefish at the top. Some deep fish are gonna be in the very corners, but if he plays the dock about here, yeah, he's gonna be sorely disappointed. But yet again, I'm thinking that actually BS are gonna be playing the same as they did in the first game, therefore placing docks in the forefront. All three of them. And basically just trying to execute better what they did in there. Because they really played well. They more or less won the water, but then somehow they let Exodus slip through, and he was able to punish them for that quite significantly. So they just couldn't somehow reconcile how to play both for the water and for the land, and it just started to trickle away. All of it, basically both water and the land, even though they looked quite solid up until that point of the game. Of course, right now Exoro is not gonna be in the pocket position, he's gonna be somewhere else, so maybe it's gonna be up to mate to basically land, but I'm still gonna be expecting it's gonna be Exoro. Maybe a bit different. I'm really thinking that they could be trying something like they did in basically, it was almost 2 weeks ago, in the round of 16, on the islands against the New Hell Hunters. Basically just land fast and cast a drop into your opponents. So that could really happen. It did work, and it was kind of funny strategy. So if that did happen here as well, that could be yet again quite a fun strategy. But let's see. Let's see, still plenty of game to be left, and it's gonna be all about the first water battles and what's gonna happen with that, of course. We are also looking at the first dock being built right now by Felipe JS. And oh, this is different. Right now this is different, and maybe BFs are just having a lot more respect than they were having actually on the second game. And they right now kinda confident, or rather knowing, that Gauchos are absolutely not to be underestimated. And they seem to be right now heading to mimic what their opponents were doing. So basically right now going for the back and going for some kind of fast landing. To be honest, I'm kind of thinking that BFs are right now slightly better off due to the combination of the civilizations. The Spanish are, they are an interesting civilization, but not exactly for water maps. For water maps, they just frankly suck. Not really that great. Can definitely be having much better options, like for example the civilizations that BFs are having. But you can see right now that BFs are definitely switching strategies. Yeah, they're gonna be doing something a whole lot different with their dogs going to the backside. And you can see, oh, even J Squared with Elquar are gonna be right next to each other. This is very interesting and kind of unfortunate at the same time, because of course they're gonna be stealing their own fishies. But luckily for them, there are plenty of here, plenty of them right next to the dog. That's about 3 there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's gonna be fine for the advance. But in the long run, this is not exactly huge. But the secondary dogs and whatever, they're probably gonna be coming somewhere a bit else. Okay, he does have already Loom, so that should be fine for him. Otherwise, how's he looking for the opponents though? They're coming for back dogs as well, you can see. Right now this is still right at the back side, which he kind of lucked out, because this could have been a whole lot worse. It usually actually is worse when you spawn, or rather when you dock into some kind of really not wide portion of the water. Back dog for the pocket player for mate, and for yellow, kind of halfway there. It's kind of meant as a back pocket, or rather back dog, but of course, with how the map spawned, he doesn't have really any kind of backside all that much. So yeah, doesn't have all that many options. So it's in the end pretty much similar as to Felipe JS. And how is it looking, for example, with the placement? So Pingu has a Viking on the left side. He's gonna be fighting against Han. J Squared in the pocket as a Viking against Mongol. Against a Mongol mate. And on the right, it's gonna be the Spanish player, and against him, of course, Mongol Elquark. But really curious right now what, of course, BFs are gonna be thinking up. I'm really at this point expecting they're gonna attempt land the same as Exodus in the first game, rather in the first attempt on Team Islands. That was game actually number 2 overall. That started a bit of a overturn in the match for actually Gauchos. They went into 2 versus 1, or rather 2-1 lead in the match. But then, of course, in game 4, as we have seen, BFs did force the decider that we are right now witnessing. So few villages coming up for basically all the players. Just the only one who isn't advancing yet is the purple player, Elquark, as the Mongol. Interesting. 24, 23, 23 villages. For the opponents, 24, 24, 22. So exactly reflecting what we are seeing. But so far, we are of course gonna be kind of denied what kind of opportunity are the teams gonna be using for themselves as far as actually landing goes. Second dog still at the back, it's gonna be already third one. So basically full on water economy at the backside without any kind of attempt to go into the middle. This is really kind of interesting. You can see the scout just guarding if maybe there's gonna be some kind of landing for BFs. We don't see dogs somewhere in the front either. It's gonna be second one for blue, and unfortunately this huge nothingness is probably gonna be playing a role for J Squared. That's kind of unfortunate. So apparently Elquark is a bit more moving to the left side. He's gonna be a bit more interested in the booming as the Mongol, and that's probably the reason why they kind of switched the positions. I was kind of wondering about that a bit. But when you think about it, it's making plenty of sense. Because of course the Viking, he's gonna be the one to fight for the water, so he needs to be closer to the battlefield. Whereas Elquark is not that interested. He's probably gonna be the one landing, I'm thinking. So he's a bit more actually moving into the pocket so that he's prepared and basically safe. And yep, that's quite nicely thought through by Black Forest and making plenty of sense. Okay, in here we are already looking at Pinguis sending some first boats into basically the base of Felipe JS, who's gonna be ready for that. Of course, he's having quite a long route, so yeah, his advantage as the Viking is not gonna be all that huge. 3 versus 3. Quite soon there are gonna be even for few more boats for Felipe JS. And it's gonna be all that easier for him to actually defend in there. Already scouting, of course, with the scout, but J Squared, not that much. He could be basically patrolling at least somewhere, like, I don't know, about here. Making sure that it's not gonna be landing, or rather landed. Because of course you can see right now already Exodo trying to scout the shoreline, and he is, to his surprise, quite probably discovering there are no docks in the middle. So already he should be knowing that this game is gonna be a whole lot different than the first one was. And that's definitely something that we like to see. You can see mate hurrying up into Castle Age. So yeah, they're just gonna be switching right now. They're just gonna be switching positions. It's gonna be the pocket player for Gauchos all the time, who's gonna be advancing faster into Castle and landing into the opponents. So mate with his Mongols is gonna be switching in there. And I'm really kind of thinking at this point, how's it looking, that Elkvark is gonna be Castle Aging as well. He is, but Exodo is also. So maybe it's gonna be some kind of double castle by mate and Exodo. And are they gonna be landing both of them at the same time? Well, maybe it could happen, because right now let's check how many stone miners he's having. Oh, plenty. He's gonna be so castle dropping. He's gonna be so landing to castle drop his opponent, and oh, this is gonna be the same as last week, and this could be the same kind of surprise. And it's gonna be all that harder, because on Team Islands, once you get a castle on your base from a Spanish, those Conquistadors are gonna be a huge issue. You're gonna be needing, of course, to switch into plenty of monks, and so far it seems like the only one who's gonna be able to do that is gonna be Elkvar, and that was the player that was supposed to land. So problems. With blue kinda just basically keeping things safe on the right side, whereas on the left there are a few yellow boats that actually got through the green blockade, as green is right now pushing forward, trying to keep Pingui busy, which is quite nice attempt, because they kinda still need to control the waters. They really don't want their opponents to be having too much of an easy time in there. So how's it gonna be looking with the attempts at landing? Right now you can see that Exodo already thinking about the docks in the front and the transport boat, and it's already through. But he has been at least scouted, so right now it's not gonna be any kind of surprise for Elkvark, so he knows. But is he gonna be actually fast enough to react to this and somehow stop it? Because right now he's coming with the scout cavalry. Does he have military buildings? Spell barracks. And actually stable. So with his castle age now, he could be stopping the castle, because the 3 villages are gonna be building it for a bit of time. But with all of those palisades, it might be kind of working for him. This is nice thought. This is nicely done. Nicely done indeed. And right now the castle is gonna be probably finished, because I don't exactly see how that could be stopped. He doesn't have any kind of archers or whatever. He doesn't have any monks, something, so this is probably gonna be a big problem. But he still maybe could at least slow it down and wait for some kind of assistance. But what kind of assistance? Because J-Squad isn't ready for this at all. He's only just basically gonna be preparing a bit of walling, trying to basically save himself from some kind of total disaster, which could definitely come from the Conquistadors and whatever. So this is the landing going on, and where is the red player? Still fighting for the water, apparently, through its fast castle. So they are, in the end, contrary to what I was thinking, that it's gonna be the pocket landing in all cases for actually Gauchos. Right now, they are making the sensible choice of the castle age from Spanish, dropping the castle on the opponent's side. Well, the cavalry archer could be happening, but he doesn't have any kind of archer range yet. He's right now coming for stables only. And the monastery. Monastery is definitely gonna be needed. And that's... well, monks are hard counter to conquistadors, so yeah. Unless they are in some kind of huge numbers. But the tower could have been made, but he probably didn't have the resources yet, I'm thinking. Let's switch into Elkvar. Well, yeah, he kinda spent the resources on the walls right about now, so he kinda opted for that kind of option. But with the castle being finished, and the knights... and some kind of camels and whatever, and the monks joining them quite soon as well, it still could be working quite alright, because at this point BFs are much better ready for what's going to happen here. Even through all of this, it's still gonna be a problem, but there is not any kind of free reign for the teal villages as there was in the first attempt on Team Islands. So they're probably gonna be just here and not gonna be able to do anything at all. He's gonna be, of course, producing a few petals here and there, but apparently just a few monk wars. Well, he's also getting it for the relic, so why not? But looking at the water, on the left side, Philip AJS is apparently doing a pretty great job against Pingui, which is a bit surprising maybe, because Pingui is a Viking, as they are both coming into Castle Ages at the same time. But J-Squad is also advancing into Castle Age, as he is trying to fight against Red, but yeah, it's not such an easy fight, because Red is in the Castle Age for quite some time longer, but the amount of boats, even in normal galleys, oh come on, just shoot. Yeah, just shoot right there, is good enough to get rid of even the upgraded boaties. So far, this landing seems to be very well handled by Black Forest. Wow, second castle right there, okay. That's interesting. That is quite interesting at this point. As of course, this is gonna be denying any kind of attempt at repairing the walls. And this is very close, very dangerously close to Elquark. So just a few petals are gonna be opening him up. And the situation is gonna be getting very dangerous for him. So, yep, let's see how this is gonna be developing, because so far it's not looking all that awesome for him. But at least it's a whole lot better than it was looking in the first attempt in game number 2. So Conquistadors are through. How? Oh yeah, transport. Yeah, I was just kind of looking at this wall and how did they get through. It was of course the transport boat, which is gonna be working on this map quite significantly. And they're gonna be needing some kind of extra assistance, as Purple is well aware. They probably do have the cartography already, haven't noticed that. But yeah, there was a lot of flaring, a few villages are gonna die, but nothing all that major, just the denied gold. That's a bit of a problem. So some knights and camels are gonna be needing on the left side as well, already coming there. As of course war galleys are being researched by J Squared, as of course right now Mate is coming forward, but he's gonna be fairly disappointed when he discovers what's gonna be waiting for him. On the left, quite huge battle apparently taking place just now, as both Philip AJS and Pingui are so far advancing through the game and more or less the same pace. It's kinda weird. Some kind of kiting maybe, but it just didn't really do anything at all. And this is of course gonna be resulting into Philip AJ 7 to retreat. He's not really in any kind of great position. And finally receiving the assistance exactly against all those conquistadors. And they cannot run anywhere. They have run themselves into a little trap in there, right between the stone and the palisade, and that's kinda sad for them. Well, just a bit of luck right now for Black Forest. Of course, as he's gonna be transported a few more through the boat, and they need to somehow take care of that, because that is still gonna be happening. And of course, the petards did get through the gate without any kind of issue. In the meantime, of course, each workshop is gonna be coming up for a few rams here and there, so that he can maybe try to take down the castles. That's gonna be the next course of action. And with all of those monks and the camels, it doesn't look all that promising for Exodo to be able to actually push through that battlefield. In the meantime, of course, as J-Squad is coming forward with all the boats in full power, getting ballistics finally also, as Mate is the one with the leading score by quite some margin, but it's probably gonna be right now decimated quite significantly, because of course he's only Mongol, and against him is gonna be J-Squad as the Viking, and the Vikings are the rulers of the sea, and you can see exactly why. Reinforcements, a few of them coming forward, but we should be seeing reinforcements from blue. Not all that much, curiously enough. So could that be because of Imperial Age? Apparently not. Mate, Exodo, nobody's really advancing into Imperial Age. Pingui, Philip AJS, and the last one, Elquark. Nobody coming into Imperial Age. Interestingly enough, as this is also quite important, as Pingui is pushing forward against Philip AJS, and that is also quite dangerous, of course, for the whole Black Forest team, because once the water is kind of lost, then they will be losing all kind of opportunities to land their opponents, and they still haven't even dealt with the landing on their side. You can see right now that they have been broken through, yet again in through pocket into J-Squad. He will need some kind of assistance fairly soon, already gonna be coming in there. Yep, through this one deleted stone wall. And the army should be just good enough. But those rams, they are getting up in numbers and could be getting rid of the castles in reasonable timing in here. So where are the monks? Monks, kind of forgot about them, I'm thinking. I'm really thinking he forgot that he has them. Should be already sending them somewhere here as well, to help convert at least a few of the units in here, as the Magonel is waiting for the rams exactly in there. But otherwise, Red pushing forward, as the GG is apparently gonna be called, as they don't think they can actually handle the situation all that well. As on the left, they probably thinking that Gaucho Pingui is just gonna be a bit too strong, and that means that, well, Gaucho B are gonna be continuing the Dark Horse role in this season, and they're gonna be advancing into the semifinals against after beating Black Forest 3-2 against New Chapter. Well, second time they got lucky with basically choosing their home map, but even though BFs actually switched into different strategy, it just didn't work out for them, because they didn't even get to land. Gauchos, they do like this map, they know how to play it, and it seems that they are just a bit better executing it. Well done, and congratulations on advance. But of course, Black Forest, very well played as well. But, well, maybe the home map on migration, that was kinda the problematic moment in the match in here. But they did come back in the 4th game to tie it, and they really were reaching for the advance as well. So nicely done by both teams, both clans, but only one can of course prevail in RTS League and advance forward. And that was Gaucho B today. Okay, so looking at the achievements, that's gonna be Pingui having the highest score. Well, he was having the best battles in there, but of course Exoro with his landing yet again. It wasn't really that hard this time around. In the first game, it was a whole lot more trickier on the first game on the Team Islands. But yet again, Gaucho's quite confident on the gameplay on Team Islands, and they executed properly not only here, but also on the migration. That has to be said, that was well done. Overcoming New Chapter, not maybe they're gonna be overcoming them on that map as well, because New Chapter are also like in migration, but Black Forest on their home map, that is migration. Largest army, yeah, Pingui, he was just right now running out of guilt in that. He was just a bit too strong, and that's one of the reasons why BFs decided to call it a game already. And the economies you can see at the end, J squared 65, Philip AJ's 47, Elk Park 78, and Gauchos were at 77, 55, 52, so the economies more or less in the same realm, which is pretty much enough at this point, since Gauchos already did have the advantage. So, GG. GG, let's correct the score for the last time for Gaucho B, advancing into semifinals 3-2, so congratulations. And of course, thank you Black Forest for quite nice representation of your clan in this clan league. Season 41, going all the way into quarterfinals and definitely reaching for the semifinals as well. And hopefully, next time, we're gonna be seeing you again, and you're gonna be making another run for the playoffs and getting maybe even further. So I also hope that everybody enjoyed today's games, quite plenty of them, 5 of them, the full tilt and full number of games that you could have gotten out of the 5, or the best of 5 of course. And if you did, definitely follow us here on the channel, also on our second channel RTS League 2, because when we have overlaps we are streaming at both. And we're also having YouTube, Facebook and Twitter, which are all at /RTS League. So of course YouTube with the past streams, and Facebook and Twitter with what's going on in the leagues, and much more importantly when we are gonna be streaming next and what games those are gonna be. So you can click on the buttons below the stream to get there easily, or basically just /RTS League, and we would be glad if you followed the longest running competition in the community already since 2001, 17 years strong and running, attracting the best players in the game and having the realest clan wars in the community, of course.